Greetings from RASCI. I hope I'm audible to the people sitting behind. Yes? Can I hear something? Wow. I'm a little selfish. You want to know the reason why? That's one of the reasons why I don't have a presentation. Because I wanted your undivided attention. 5 minutes only here. Okay? I represent a company called RASCI. That is the Retailers Association Skill Council of India. Who are we and what do we do? Why have we been set up? If you actually go to see, we've been promoted by RAI and other leading retailers. We're funded by the government of India. If you actually look at what is the objective and what do we exist for, yes, we're a regulatory body for skill standards, for setting them, assessing and certifying them. Be it in the formal education system, further education, general education, vocational education or vocational training. This entire concept started more from the perspective of having a young India, shining India. When evolved nations also would look at people from our nation actually going across over there, excelling over there, going there as assets and not as liabilities. So it started off from a journey wherein a predominantly educationist country, that's India, wherein if you actually go to see, all of us have gone through it. 12 years of basic general education. Haven't we? Basic 12 years. So how we define as higher secondary certificate in our hands. Now with those 12 years being there in the education system, does that enable him or her to actually earn his or her livelihood? The answer was evident. And when you said, can we supplement this? Doesn't make sense because it actually makes a person ready to a certain extent for real life. So can we complement it? Yes, of course. With skills that are required by the industry. And hence, RASCI is a skill setting standard company or a council for retail. Today we've got, in fact, I was hearing feedback from the ma'am there from Canada. Few are there from other nations like UK, Australia. We've got bilateral agreements with most of these nations also. Whether it's Australia, UK, Canada, Singapore. We're looking at now evolving because skills actually has no geography. It is more about being as mobile as possible for the benefit of the industry, be it here or be it beyond. Because with the current way business is actually happening, nationality cannot restrict skill and mobility of that. So within these 5 minutes, now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to pick on, there are so many things that we do. There are many things. In fact, even I did not realize there are so many things that I would have to do when I had actually picked up this assignment. I'll speak about just one which is actually going to impact and revolutionize the way we would actually be working, going ahead in the retail industry. If you actually go to see most of the chairs that you're sitting in fact, all the chairs have 4 sturdy legs, and hence you're comfortable standing where you, sitting where you are in a sturdy and stable manner, comfortable. Just imagine if the same chair that you were sitting on had only 2 legs. How would you feel? Would you be sitting? Maybe yes, but on the floor. So that's the way actually we see the HR fraternity in a fast-paced and fast-growing nation like India. While we define the human practice or the human resource department having 4 broad, functions, if I may term it as. One is the talent acquisition, when the person actually is getting based on recruiting people based on the annual operating plans. Then you have a talent development, the next function, wherein you get a person into the system and then you develop that person for various different roles, enrichment, etc., etc. You have a talent engagement function wherein you actually keep the employee engaged, because everyone talks in retail about experience, delight, etc., etc. That's external customer. Let the internal one first be delighted and, felt as though I'm part of this journey to actually exhibit that externally. And then you have a rewards and recognition for good practices, good performance, excellence, etc. Unfortunately, of these four legs, most of the HR departments now focus on something which I call as a bottomless bucket. So they hire people and then they do the full and final settlements. So two critical enriched functions, which is engagement and development, actually get neglected. And now with the association that the Skill Council has built up with several state and central ministries. In fact, we got a line ministry for ourselves in 2014. Here is an opportunity wherein actually the government is partnering with the industry player, that is the job generator. This is a bold step which has been taken while we follow a qualification framework, and we're late entrants into this, probably the 132nd nation worldwide, which is called the National Skills Qualification Framework. And now, against those standards that are set over there as a formal framework which brings about fungibility between education and skilling, the government is going to partner with industries directly. So let me give you an example. If I am company X and my hiring plan warrants me for recruiting front-end staff to the tune of, let's say, 2,000 associates. Typically, what would I do? Job portals, screening, interview, get the ops guy to interview, HR person to interview, cajole them, get them into the room, conduct the interviews, invest time, efforts, money, of course, for sure. And then pray, keep your fingers crossed that let this kid join on the day, otherwise my shutter is going to go up, but it's going to be very badly manned. The store. So here is a situation wherein we actually eliminate all these woes and create a new way of working. Wow. So this company X now can actually get facilitated through RASCI. And the Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship facilitates another contract through NSDC, which is the National Skills Development Corporation. Which means the funds that actually you would utilize as an organization in hiring people, skilling them, getting them job ready, and deploying them on the shop floor would actually be taken care of through government schemes. So this is something that is actually going to, if I have to use a terminology which business heads would use, convert your L&D efforts from a cost center to a profit center. Because in any case, as long as business is going to grow, operations are going to increase, people costs, which is the largest but controllable, are going to increase. And here is an opportunity that each one has to actually enable their respective HR departments. So I would like to leave with this note and encourage questions that are there from the audience. Yes, I also am a person who is supposed to be an advocate of Digital India. But in such a situation, I like the touch and feel. So I would prefer and request each one of you to give us an opportunity to touch and feel your organizations through what inroads we made with the government departments.